25 years ago when I started the Contemporary A Cappella Society of America, people didn't know what the word a cappella meant. And now, a cappella is everywhere. Pitch Perfect, the sing-off, Pentatonics. I don't know if you realize this, Pentatonics has more followers on YouTube than Beyonce.
That's just the way I am. That's just the way I am. That's just the way I am. I got a gold mine, it's all mine. Nobody can touch this gold of mine. I got a gold mine, it's all mine. Nobody can touch this gold of mine.
Don't try to fight the feeling, the thought alone is killing me right now.
Fight it now.
Thank God we're two together when we don't know how.
It would go on and on and on and on.
idea why or where you ever used an a cappella flute, and yet here we are waiting for our pizza. So, this is what an a cappella flute sounds like. Feeling. Music is communication, but very specifically, it's the transference of emotion. Well, the first thing is to acknowledge and realize that ultimately when people are in the audience, they want that emotion. You need to be in that emotional place, in the same way that you need to be singing the right rhythms and the right pitches. Don't think that the emotion is optional and the pitches and the rhythms are the most important part. Because I'll tell you, I'll be honest, I'd rather watch a performance of a group that's a little bit shaky, but touches my heart, than one that's precise and leaves me cold. So, how do you do that? How do you get into this emotional place every single time? Well, step number one is for you to identify what the emotions are in the song that you're going to convey. That's important. Like if you understand the lyrics, you've done a little bit of lyrical analysis, you understand the history of the song, you know what the song is trying to say, so you understand what the emotions are that you're trying to put out. But you know what the emotion is, how do you make yourself feel it? Well, the first thing you should know is that it can't come from someone outside of you. If you've got a choral director that's standing up on stage and trying to pull the emotion out of you, it doesn't work that way any better than it works when your parents are like, cheer up.
Art. So one thing that I tend to do is in like the first verse, I'll keep it relatively simple, and then in the chorus, I'll like get a little more involved and kind of bring it back down for the next verse, and then same thing with the next chorus, I bring it back. So like for the verse, I might be like, and then the chorus, I'll be like, and the next verse, I might be like, so it's still simpler than the chorus with like the sound's not as big, but like changing it from the first verse. But more so than anything, I'd analyze the song and analyze all songs. Like, listen to a wide variety of genres, and you will get a feel for what you are wanting to go for. My outward K is, instead of in the front of my mouth, like, I put it in the sides and kind of like in the back, so instead of it's like, and apparently a lot of people don't do that. I like it a lot, especially because it helps me with faster patterns. Like, I can't really do that with N-word. And you can also play around with the placing, so if it's too bright, you can be like, you can like really play around with like how you're pitching it, and that will help it sound really good. Another sound that is super common is the PF snare. I think it's easier to make a PF snare sound really good than it is to make any of the K snares sound good. Because if you can do a PF snare, odds are it's going to sound good on a mic. Like, I haven't had to really mess with my PF since I learned it. And it has so much power. It's like, if I'm doing like an inward K, like that's cool or whatever, but if I'm doing with a PF, it just has so much more punch. So PF is definitely my favorite. If you don't know how to do a PF snare, I would recommend learning that ASAP because it's so cool and I love it.
Think about Ferris wheel, if you don't know you've hit the top until you've already passed it. So you have to and every single one. The best part about the world is like sliding all the way through it because first off, it like actually like warms up your voice. Like your vocal cords aren't just going note, note, note. They're going like things that I think like will show up in group arrangements is that like you pull, and that happens in improv. It happened when we did our little circle one, where someone does a theme and you're like, oh, I want to do that, but how do I do it differently? Either you like transpose it and do it at a different note, which is what's happening here, and then you shift the time. So you have this like, we're all doing it at different pitch levels, but it's the same theme. Like the content is very minimal. There's one theme happening throughout the whole thing in a bass line, throughout this whole like intro part. But you switch stuff around and you just move it and manipulate the same theme, and you get something cool and really interesting.
Okay, so then we have what? Take a step. Actually taking a step, making sense, yes? But then you sit back, and now we're in a new formation. Great effective way of using the lyrics to come into a new form.